Yeah, I suppose we had a few tough games to start the league and we finished it pretty strong, and we would have felt we were in a good position just going into the quarterfinals, and then a lot changed then. Look, you just kind of had to make the most of the situation, and it was personally for me, it was kind of a few weeks of a break came at a good time because I had a few injuries picked up and chance to get them right, but I obviously didn't foresee the break going on this long. But look, it was just kind of, I think every player or every one of the lads were just trying to keep themselves ticking over for the last few weeks, and we're kind of hoping that it would come back, and I think we've seen signs now in the last couple of days that it is going to come back, so we're all fairly upbeat about that. I suppose it was a chance for everybody to kind of reassess the way we do things and even spend a bit more time with family maybe and things like that. So look, from a hurling point of view, it was tough enough being away from it all, but like there was other things that, like as I said, spending time with family and stuff that we didn't really get a chance to do before. So look, it wasn't all negative. Yeah, I was probably lucky enough that Cahill was there with me, so it's a bit easier to do it when you've someone with you. We had a few small bits of gym equipment and that we'd got, but nothing major, and trying to do a small bit of running to keep going, but look, it was nothing compared to what you'd be doing if you were in with the group. But still, like, I still feel that we've kept ourselves ticking over a bit, and you'd be looking forward to going back in even small groups, whenever that may be. Yeah, we would have been communicating, like we had a few Zoom calls and stuff. I think everybody was doing. I think Zoom was doing overtime the last few weeks. Sure, we have our WhatsApp group, and you can pick up the phone and ring somebody as well. So it was easy enough to keep in contact, and that's probably what made it easier for everybody, not just for teams. Even older people being isolated away from family members, they have the FaceTime and the Zoom and the Skype and all them things now. So that definitely made it a bit easier for everybody. Yeah, it was very weird for a while. I think that's the only word to describe it, because we just weren't used to having that much time to ourselves. We were so used to going to work, go training, come home, go to bed, go to work, go training, and kind of our whole lives revolved around it. And like as I said, for a few weeks it was nice nearly to take a step back from it all and just reassess and think about what we're actually doing. But then you do miss it an awful lot, and even talking to lads, the one thing they miss most is the crack in the dressing room before training, after training, and just talking to people and meeting people all the time. And I think that was the biggest thing, like the tactics and the working on that, and the group sessions and running out in the pitch and all that, you'd miss that as well. But I think the biggest thing was just missing meeting up with everyone, and I don't think we realised how close we were as a group maybe until we were all separated from each other. And yeah, I think that was the biggest thing. I'm probably lucky enough that I'm one of the people that doesn't put on weight too easily, so I need to eat a lot. Some people do be a bit jealous of that, but no, I kind of use the time as well. Like we actually had more time now to be putting effort into our diet and into stuff like that. So I kind of used the time to try and put on 1 or 2 extra kgs that I didn't really get the chance to do before. So from that point of view, it was good. But obviously, if you're not training to such an intensity that you were used to be, the calories and the intake that you're putting into your body would have to be reduced, or you don't want to find yourself coming back with a lot of or too much weight on or whatever. But everyone is different. Some lads were using it to put on a bit of weight, some lads were using it to strip back a bit, so it was different for everybody. But I could use it to put on 1 or 2 kgs, which was no harm either. Yeah, you'd love to be heading into Pearse Stadium now, getting ready to play that game, and Pearse Stadium be filled with the majority of Galway supporters would have been great. But
there'd be 100,000 people at it today.
I'd say if there was a training session, there'd be a few thousand people at it even now. Yeah, it's when you think about it, it's disappointing, but at least from the indications we got yesterday, there is signs that something is going to happen in the next few months. So I think In general, I think all the GA people are a bit upbeat about it, and hopefully nothing will set us back. Obviously, as long as everything is safe to do, I think things will continue, and there will be games. So. Yeah, definitely. Like, training on your own is fine, but it's not the same as training with a group and like people tackling you and everything. It's a different kind of fitness than doing your straight runs or whatever. But I think hopefully we'll get back to small groups first and then kind of build it up gradually. But it's obviously disappointing that the GA pitches aren't open, that we can't go and train in our groups of 15 or whatever we're allowed to do so by the government. But we just have to make do with that, and because everyone's in the same boat at the end of the day. So I don't think anyone has an advantage over anyone else. But yeah, I think the first week or two might be rusty enough when we go back, but hopefully you'll find yourself picking it up 2 or 3 weeks back into it. You'll be fine again. To be honest, I don't really know. I'm assuming that it'll be some form of knockout, maybe like the old format where you might get one chance or something like that. But like, it's hard to know, because even if the championship runs for 6 weeks or 8 weeks, you're nearly gone into December. So it'd be interesting to see how they do it, and I'd be hoping that they'd come out with the plan and even with guidelines, just so players and management have dates that they can plan towards. In the next, you'd be hoping they'd come out with something in the next couple of weeks now, because I think the hardest thing for everybody as well was just not knowing, is there going to be a championship or is there not, or when is it going to be, and you're trying to train for a date that you don't know when that date is. And we would have been used to having the date in sight, and you'd train and you'd be aiming to peak at that time, and when you don't have that either, it's hard enough to train. But hopefully they've come out with a bit of a club plan for the club, so hopefully they'll come out with an inter-county as well. But yeah, definitely, like, you have to go back to the clubs first, because like, there's so many people involved in the club setups. Originally I was thinking that it could be easier to run the county first, because there's a lot less people involved throughout the country. But as long as they can run the club safely, it'll be great to get back hurling with the club and kind of everything stripped back down and just come back hurling with the lads we started out with again, so that'll be good. I think the biggest thing was, at the first few weeks, was spending time with family. Like, my sister Sinead, for a few weeks she was off work and we were off work, and I don't think we had spent as much time like that since we were probably in school maybe. So I think from that point of view it was great to be able to do that.
Is it true that you had to go up on the bog? I
had to go to the bog, yeah, last week there. Thank God we got it home just before the rain. That's one thing I wouldn't miss anyway if it was gone. But yeah, I think spending time and just having time to yourself and with your family, that was probably the biggest thing. I had the guitar, but I didn't get around to learning that one yet now.